Hello everyone. So it's been a pretty sad week here in the US with the main media focusing on the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the hunt for his killer. But so much more has happened. In particular, across the Atlantics, which is what I want to cover with you today. And the news of the event here with Charlie Kirk made it headlines over there. It was headlines at the end of the days in most of the mainstream medias, but it did not stay headline for long. Just because every time there's something more sensational, more deadly, something newer that happened and just takes the headline. And we move on to the next story. It did generate a discussion in the European Parliament. Some Congress people proposed to hold a minute of silence in memory of Charlie Kirk. And it was highly controversial. You actually had a French congresswoman, European congresswoman, who argued against it. And here you have to understand that the difference, I think, in a political opinion and also the media coverage in Western Europe. Charlie Kirk was presented as highly conservative and highly pro-Trump. And Trump does not necessarily have a good press over there. So it did not help the case. And I don't think they held any minute of silence. But it's just a little anecdote here. But yes, so much more happened. And if we start the week, let's start with Monday. Monday, we're going to the Middle East here. So you had Israel that fired missiles on Qatar. So Qatar is not part of NATO, but it holds the largest US military base in the Middle East and is officially a US ally or close friend. Isn't it Qatar that gifted Trump with a luxury jet not that long ago? That's a pretty nice proof of friendship, I think, and was very open in front of all the medias. So you have that on one side in Qatar, and on the other side, just very recently, a few days ago, you had Russia sending drones over to Poland, 17 drones in Poland. So that one got a reaction from other European nations, because at the end, Poland is part of NATO. But here it was Europe that reacted. You had France for sure, and I believe the UK and one other country that sent military jets to protect the Polish skies. And here in Europe, you have to remember that you have two main military nuclear powers, which is UK and France. So both of them reacted pretty strongly and right away sending their jets. But when I read the news, it made me wonder, why would Russia do that? Why would they send drones to Poland? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Because in my opinion, and that's solely my opinion, it's an open provocation here. And potentially a test. Putin is testing to see how we react in case a NATO country is actually, it wasn't attacked as such, but well, yeah, I mean, they went onto the country and they were not invited, and sending 17 drones is not that small. So a test, NATO, what does it mean? Does it matter at the end to be part of NATO? Because there were discussions here. US did not do anything, I believe. But what I read is Trump said he would put more sanctions on Russia if NATO allies were to stop buying Russian oil, which is not easy for the Europeans. We are energy dependent, certain countries more than others, but we do need the gas, we need oil, and Russia is much closer and easier. So we get some from North Africa. We can, UK has a bit, but it's not that easy. So, and I don't think there were conditions on the NATO agreement originally back in the days. So a lot happening here on the Israeli side and on the Russian-Ukraine side. So firing up and yeah, not too good on both sides. And to add to this, you got some European instability in terms of economy and politics. So let me dive here in the country I know best, which is France, but we're going to touch UK as well. So France, we started the week. Monday, it was the Prime Minister who resigned. So he had a no confidence vote at the Parliament the previous Friday with his economical measures, his proposal. He wanted to help the economy by reducing the deficit, which is way above 6% right now, when we should be closer to 3, actually below 3 for European standards. So the extreme right, extreme left didn't agree with his proposals. He was out. Macron reacted extremely quickly on this one and appointed a new person right away. Within 24 hours, he appointed the Minister of the Army, Sébastien Lecornu, who apparently is a friend of him. We'll see what he does. He's got a pretty hard task to please both sides while working on balancing the budget and reducing the deficit. So he's apparently carving in and changing the proposal from his predecessor, who wanted people to work more and take out 2 holidays each year. So he's not doing that. We'll see what the proposals will be. I have my doubt here on the two extremes are almost impossible to accommodate both. So we'll see. But the point here is that if he doesn't manage to do something, of course, you're going to have economical consequences because the economy is going to get worse, the deficit is going to get worse, and France already saw its rating downgraded. That was Fitch this week, actually, downgraded France from AA minus to A plus, and we used to be AAA, just like Germany. So it's got an impact on our interest rate and all the debt we have to repay. Something the US is pretty familiar with. Unfortunately, France is not the only country in that case, but it's not good. It's just going to add up to the deficit. So the first thing is economical, but the second is political instability, because that's going to be our third prime minister. If this one cannot make it and has to quit again, how many prime minister is Macron going to have to appoint? Because at the end, the extreme left actually said it very, very clearly. They're voting against any prime minister at this point. They're just voting against the president. And Macron, initially, when he took office, said he would never quit. That was 3 years ago. He still has 2 years to go for 2027. Is France going to hold for 2 years at that rate? How many prime minister are we going to have? There's no telling here. So let's wait and see. But it's not a good political and economical environment, in addition to all the social tensions, because we had on Wednesday a major strike. So when I say major strike, it was pretty much all public transportation. They managed to block some trains, subways, some airports. Thankfully not Charles de Gaulle, the main Paris airport. That was the day we flew out back to the US and we made it safely, so that was good. But it was another one of these strikes with riots on the streets. They burned buses, cars. It's just messy, costs money, and at the end, not sure what they achieve. That's the thing. What do they achieve? And for the French people, it's just another strike. It's sad. It's very sad to get down to that. So that's France. At the very same time in the UK, actually today, September 13th, when I'm recording the video, you've got over 100,000 people on the street in the UK against illegal immigration. This has become a major issue across Europe. UK has had quite a bit of violence on that theme. So you have a new minister in charge for the topic, and she happens to be originally from Pakistan and Muslim, but wants to really abide by the law and be against illegal immigration. But yeah, immigration would probably be for a complete other video, because you've got a lot of different issues across Europe on immigration. some of it is legal, but others is illegal, and as you know, it's extremely hard to track how much we have. So for the UK, it's a lot of Indian origin. When I say Indian, Pakistan, but it used to be, UK used to be in India. It's still part of the Commonwealth. It's like us in France, you have a lot of immigration from Africa, North Africa in particular. But we used to be there. I mean, Algeria used to be a French colony, and they do speak French in Tunisia, Morocco, or Senegal, for instance. So it's a very complex topic, but it creates a lot of racial tensions in the society that you see more and more. So yes, I'm not depicting a pretty picture here. I'm realizing here, economically, politically, potential wars on different fronts, social tensions. It's a lot of topics, unfortunately, very real when you are in Europe. Spend a bit of time, talk to people, and you hear the stories. So let me know what you think, what's your experience, how do you view all this, what do you think of the drones sent by Russia to Poland? What's your take on that? Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there.